Greetings, friends. My name is Charles Cubanks, and I'd like to welcome you to Charles Classic Podcast, the podcast where I can talk about whatever I want, and it doesn't have to be any particular topic or subject. And so today I shall be talking about long-form videos and content, and whether or not it should be a thing, and whether or not it should be a thing that I do. And this is a very interesting thought to me, which is why I'm podcasting about it. But the further reason is because this is something that has been, rolling around in my mind for quite a long time. The fact that I just love long form content. If you've been watching me for any length of time, then you know, if you've watched any of my other videos in my literary review or my anime review, that I am something of a neo-Victorian. I am something of a traditionalist. I am also something of a vintage person. Some people, if they don't know too much about, if they don't try to really explain or overthink what it means, they'll call me a hipster. And I understand why, because I really value old things over new things. I'm one of those people that, has always said, even from my childhood, those were the good old days. And even if it was just last week was better than this week. Well, actually, that's not quite true. I think today was better than yesterday. But as kind of a rule, I believe that the way that people did things way back when are better than they are now. I'm not a huge believer that technology solves all of our problems. I do believe that technology actually gives us just as many, if not more, problems than it gives us good gifts. And, I'm using technology right now, and that is one of the gifts of technology. But the problem of, social networking becoming more drawing of or interesting or attractive to the youth is one of the drawbacks of just technology in general and the way that computers and the internet is now. And that's something that I deride it for. But I'm going to use whatever means necessary to make things better for myself and others, so I'm going to use technology, of course. So I'm still a kind of a utilitarian. I wouldn't be an American if I weren't. But I love old things, and something that the old world had going for it was longevity. Even if if not for the plague and sickness and disease, people were known in the past for being very long-winded, let's say. All of the old stories are very long stories. All of the old philosophies are very long books dedicated to philosophy. All the old theologians wrote ridiculous amounts of theology in books. And so my favorite time in history, in probably the 1880s, 1890s, just the 19th century in general, is my favorite era. And the way that they wrote was, compared to today, was extremely long-winded. And that's something that I actually appreciate. Just about, probably 65% of the books that I have in my room, and I have about 160, are all long-winded, old 1800s books. And I love it. I love long descriptions. I love expository speaking and teaching. I love expository writing. And these days, especially in fiction, that kind of writing is really is discouraged. I'll just say that it's extremely discouraged and disparaged, especially among the youth. If you are young, don't even try writing anything long. Your teachers will definitely deride you for wanting to write anything really long, or really detailed, or really expository, with lots of exposition in it. But that's the problem. I think one of the problems in the world is that there is not enough long-form stuff for me to consume from this century and from this year and this decade. And if there were, then I would listen to it, I would watch it, I would read it. So that's a value that I have. But not everyone does it. And I know that as a YouTuber, I probably won't get very big, anywhere very quick if all of my videos are long-form videos, but those are the kind that I have been coming out with. And so the other day, what really prompted me to make this podcast is that I got a comment, a private one, so you can't really go and look at it, but from a commenter, I won't say their names for privacy's sake, who was basically wanting to give some constructive criticism on my videos and was basically saying that my content is too long, or it might be too long, and that perhaps I should look at some specific anime reviewers in order to get some inspiration for shorter form videos that are shorter in length. And what he recommended was Digibro's channel, an anime reviewer who is, I think, the best at the current moment, despite him being a rather foul-mouthed person. He's part of the Procrastinators podcast, and is just a really good analytical person overall. And so his videos are all extremely well edited. He has an editor that he pays, that he lives with, and most of his videos are very well edited with clips and images that are all relevant to what he's talking about at any given moment, and they're great. Sometimes they get taken down because they have too much of the source material that he's talking about. But the interesting thing is that I have been a lover of Digibro's content for probably almost a year now. Probably a year. My friend told me about him, who is also an anime enthusiast, and I immediately took to him because while he is definitely just a down-to-earth guy, he's definitely not any big shot. He's popular, but he's not super popular yet on YouTube, even though I think he probably deserves to be, but the main thing holding him back is that his image is that of an anime hobo. He calls himself the Gonzo Otaku Journalist, and you'll have to look up what that means for yourself. But he looks like a hobo, but he speaks like a philosopher. He speaks like someone who really values analysis and intelligent exposition, and he does. All of his videos are very well worded. Sometimes, he misspells or, says a word wrongly, but everything that he says is very intelligent, and what he values is getting his thoughts across in a way that is understandable to everyone. But that is also very intellectual and deep. And so he's able to do that in these short videos on his main channel, but then he has a secondary channel called Digibro After Dark, in which he just rants for, anywhere between 15 minutes to 2 hours, and just him talking. And I love that about Digibro. I love the Digibro After Dark videos even more than Digibro's main channel 5 to 10 minute videos. And those 5 to 10 minute videos were the exact ones that this commenter was encouraging me to take some notes on. So that was a very interesting thought to me, that I do very long form videos, basically because Digibro After Dark does long form videos, and he gets by as a channel with Digibro After Dark, just by speaking what's on his mind. And again, that's another value that I love, is that he is able to get down to a very low common denominator where almost anyone can understand him and he just talks from the heart. He's very down to earth, extremely down to earth. A little too down to earth, I think. He needs a little bit of heaven in him, but he's very down to earth, and that's something that I love. Just for an example of how much I love this, I want to say that there are some videos that I watch that are, well, I watch a lot of video gaming channels. There are a lot of video gaming channels on my own channel that I've subscribed to, and recommend most of the ones that I've subscribed to. But I've been playing a game called Bloodborne, and I love Bloodborne, and so I wanted to listen to Bloodborne lore while playing it so that I could get a more informed, interesting experience of Bloodborne all around. And so I was listening to VatiVidya, who is probably the most popular Bloodborne lore videographer, YouTuber on YouTube, who speaks about Bloodborne lore in depth, and not just Bloodborne, also Dark Souls. But the way in which he does it, it's so polished, and it's so cinematic, and it's so dramatic, that I feel like it's unrelatable. I can't really get into his videos that much, even though he's the best. I don't want to cast shade upon VatiVidya's videos, but the way that he speaks is so melodramatic, I would say, that it feels contrived. It feels kind of forced. It feels high and lofty, like he's creating this thing that is a really, like, kind of high art, and he's imbuing it with the spirit of the game itself, and the cinematic tension and the creepiness, all in his voice, and it comes out just really weird. Really odd, just kind of off to me. I still recommend his videos if you like Bloodborne and video games, but I prefer someone else, like almost anyone else who will talk about lore other than him. And so I went to another video by someone else explaining the lore of Bloodborne, and it was just this pink-haired girl who was talking about Bloodborne just with a webcam. She didn't have any fancy editing, no high-quality video. Her sound was pretty good, I gotta say that. But it was probably just either a laptop or a smartphone that she was using, and all of the visuals that she used were just little notes and graphs that she herself had drawn, and all the characters that she shows you are kind of drawn in her own, like, cutesy, rounded stick figure style. And I was blown away with how straightforward and understandable the lore was, to such a greater extent than VatiVidya's, $1 million videos or whatever. I don't know how much they actually are, but you get the idea. And that's something that I love finding. Like, there's no greater feeling when it comes down to my YouTubing experience, watching videos, being part of the audience. There's no greater experience than finding someone who is down to earth, a normal person, talking to the camera, who is able to tell you exactly why they like something and how they like it in a way that is understandable and relatable and down to earth. And that's what this girl was. I'll put the link in the description to her videos. I don't know if she's still doing it. I don't remember the name of it offhand. You'll have to look in the description. But I loved that. And again, there's very little else that can make me so happy as to find someone who not only is able to speak intelligently and understandably, but also for a really long time. And so that's why, I'm doing this podcast right now. I know for a fact that this is not going to be a 15-minute thing. It already isn't, I believe. Rather, it's probably going to be over 30 minutes, just like all the rest of my videos on my channel. There are a couple of vlogs that are like 7 minutes or 11 minutes, or even 5 minutes. I think one is 5 minutes. But anything that has a topic is usually over 30 minutes long, and the reason why is because I love long-form stuff. I want things to be well established and talked about in the deepest, most interesting way possible. And the problem with that is that I'm using YouTube. And why do you say that? Well, when the commenter said you probably, your videos are probably too long, he didn't qualify that statement or tell me why that was the case, but immediately when he said it, I knew why. Because while I do, while I do long form videos, I'm just a young YouTuber. I haven't been on for a long time. I don't have many friends that I can tell, hey, go look at this YouTube video. I don't have a big following, but all of my videos are long form videos, and that are like Digibro After Dark. But the reason that Digibro After Dark is able to succeed is because his main channel, which is 5 minutes long per video, usually 10 minutes, 15 minutes, they're all short, and people have watched them, and he's garnered a very successful fan base, so that when he did create an offshoot channel, the people from that channel that already liked Digibro were able to go and watch those Digibro After Dark videos, which were longer, more in-depth, less focused, more rambly. And that's exactly the content that I love, and that's the kind of content that I want to make. It's like the golden rule of life, of YouTube. Like, the way that you like watching videos, the types of videos that you like watching, are probably the videos that you should make if you're going to be a YouTuber. And that's what I want more of on the internet. But the thing about YouTube is that the overall consensus by all of the YouTube statisticians they all agree that on YouTube, if you put a video that is 3 minutes long, a person will watch all of it, usually. But if you put a video that is 10 minutes long, a person will usually watch 3 minutes of it, of the beginning, and then tune off, go to another video. And that's certainly true for me. Like, I usually take a few minutes when I'm watching a video to see whether or not I should continue watching it, or to decide. But if I don't like it, I usually end up tabbing out of it in the first couple minutes. And so the general consensus is shorter is better when it comes to video length. And so, therefore, most of the videos on YouTube are like that. However, it used to be that all videos had to be like that because there was a time limit. Actually, remember, back in the early days of YouTube, the time limit being, basically 10 minutes long. It was like, and all of the videos that were on there were only like, someone jumping on the trampoline and falling off in a weird way. But, and that was all that was on YouTube. Someone might talk for a few minutes about something, or vlog about a book they read for a few minutes, but that was it. And you couldn't possibly make videos that were any longer than that. But then I remember, because of the outcry of people, so many people going and publishing their videos on YouTube and making more high quality stuff, YouTube had to answer, and they upped it from 10 to 15 minutes, and then from 15 minutes to 30 minutes, and then from 30 minutes to an hour, and then by that time, people were making things longer, and then it just became limitless. You could upload videos to YouTube without limit. There probably is a limit, I just don't know of it. I've watched videos on YouTube, like in the Procrastinators podcast, for like almost 4 hours, and without having anyone actually talking about a time limit. And that's the good thing about podcasts, though, is that you can just listen forever. And that's what I love about it, about podcasts. So that's the problem, is that this is true. People do tune out when the video is going to be something really long. And I imagine that with my videos, with like Attack on Titan, I have an hour or 45 minute to an hour video on Attack on Titan, the first season, that not many people have watched. And it may be because it's 45 minutes long. And then I have another video on my channel, which, like my podcasts get a lot of views, a lot of comments, but that Attack on Titan Season 1 didn't get hardly any. But then I had a 39-minute video on Attack on Titan Season 2, and it got a bunch of views and a bunch of comments, which is very interesting. If it's just 20 minutes less than an hour, people will still listen to it. If it looks like it's going to be a long video, people will tune out. But then sometimes they'll be able to say, it's a psychological thing. They look at one video that's an hour and a half long, they say, oh, that's too long. But then they look at a video that's, 40 minutes long. I can do that. Not an hour, but I can do 40 minutes. And that's how it is. If I know for a fact that if I were to make really condensed, really highly edited videos about anime that were like 10 minutes long, 12 minutes long, people would watch them more. More people would tune in, more people would be interested and share them, because it's just a tidbit. It's just answering a single thing about an anime, and that's all I could possibly do if I did shorter videos, was just a couple of ideas about an entire season of anime, and then that would be it for that video. I have to move on to something else. And I couldn't possibly warrant doing that, knowing who I am, how I actually work inside. That would destroy my insides. That would destroy my heart. And my heart is for long-form content. It's to make something which has a lot of thought put into it, hopefully more than me just talking on podcasts, because I have no script for these podcasts. I'm just talking, and hopefully you will enjoy this, because I enjoy this. I enjoy even talking to myself. I enjoy listening to the podcasts that I have recorded, because that's the type of person I am. I like listening to someone speaking for a long period of time with depth, as I've already said. And yeah, I hope that you out there will agree with me that it is important, I think, that YouTubers continue to fight for long-winded videos, because if a person is able to listen to an hour of just me talking, that means that their attention span is actually longer than someone who can't stand watching more than 15 minutes of a YouTube video. And if you're able to listen for a long time and don't have a short attention span, I would say that's partially due to maturity level, that you have patience. And again, I don't want to make this like the elites make massive videos and only the elites listen to them because they are the best type of people. But I don't want it to be like that. There are lots of people with patience out the wazoo who are just super young, and I think that's where YouTube is going, but it hasn't really gotten there yet. Like Digibro himself, in his After Dark videos, has a video wherein he encourages everyone out there to make anime reviews and vlogs on a shoestring budget, and showed me that I could do it without spending a whole lot of money. I could do it. Just get a camera, just get a smartphone, use the speaker, use the camera, and just talk for a while about why you like your anime, and it's golden. You can post it to YouTube. You can become a YouTuber, and you might one day make money on it. And it was simple as that, and that's how I do it. I did buy a microphone, and I have a modern day laptop, but that's all I really have in terms of equipment for broadcasting what I broadcast. And I hope that someday this becomes the norm, where people will look at videos like mine, like Digibro After Dark, like even Matthew Matosis, who does long videos, like Vati Vidya. If he did more long videos, people would do more long videos and watch them. And I think there is a lot of value in people watching and making longer form videos and thinking a lot more deeply about the things that they like and telling why. Because the more that a person is able to understand themselves, the more they're able to understand the world around them and actually relate to the people that are harder to relate to. And if we can do that, then I think we'll have a more peaceful world. So I just wanted to get out there that my point is not to become a huge popular YouTuber. That's not my vision for why I'm going to be doing YouTubing or anime reviews or podcasts. That is not the point at all. My point is just to have an outlet for myself where I can put my thoughts out there and hopefully influence people in a positive way and give them a little bit of information, give them a little bit of insight into the type of person that I am, so that when they meet people like me, when they hear about Christians, or Christian anime people, they can say, oh, those exist? That's cool. I can be okay with them. Because there's so much acidity on the internet about Christians, or about just, people like me who are just little white young kids who are living at home and are, just making YouTube videos. And you don't have to be just some white kid making a video. You can be an interesting person. You can be a person who is thoughtful and kind and has a lot to say on any given subject, and be able to say it with alacrity and longevity. And I think that's way better, just for me as someone who enjoys long videos, and for YouTubers making those videos, to be able to put them out there and understand their own content and their own likes and dislikes, their own psyches, and to be able, and that makes other people able to really understand that person's psyche and relate to them. And it's all good. Yeah, if I were to do shorter videos, I'm certain I would garner more views. But my main desire is to encourage long-form expository videos and commentary, rather than the 5 to 10 minute formula. And that's what I enjoy doing. That's what I will do. And I hope that you understand. And yeah, I also thank that person, you know who you are, who gave me that message. I appreciate it. It was a very interesting talk, very interesting thought process. I thank you for it, because I was able to make this podcast. Yeah, so God bless everyone. Tell me what you think in the comments below about the future of YouTube, because it kind of is a problem that people really do have such a short attention span for watching or listening to videos, because I myself do not. I'm willing to spend my days listening to hours and hours of people just bantering back and forth, and I'll be happy. And it's a simple way to get enjoyment out of things, but I do not find a whole lot of enjoyment out of 5 minutes of really well, pushed together content. I'd rather have it spread out over a long time so that I can watch a little bit of it while playing a video game. I can listen to it while doing other things. I can watch the rest and then stop and then watch the rest of it another time. It's best if there's more content out there by the people that I like, than if there's just a really highly condensed video at once a month. So that's what I value, and maybe you value it too. Tell me what you value in YouTube videos in the comments. Keep on keeping on, and God bless. I'll talk to you in the next one.